Hey guys, welcome back to whatever this is, and on today's episode, I want to talk about one of the most interesting weekends I've had for collecting in a very long time. So anyways, for this episode, it's a bit more of an interesting story on what recently happened in my game collection. Now, to start this episode off, there was supposed to be an episode that actually aired before I posted this one, but I lost the audio and video to that. I have a chunk of the audio still available, but I lost the video because of how my camera decides to record things, and it got mucked up. So I'm actually going to re-record that episode, but TLDR, I had one Dreamcast game disc rot on me. It was Resident Evil 2 for the Sega Dreamcast. And when that happened, honestly, I'm too scared to hold on to the Dreamcast games. They do have a high ratio of that. I'll get into more detail on exactly everything, but let's just say, I fire sailed everything to a store I knew. They gave me a good deal. And I got some really cool things. I've wanted these things for a while. And also that weekend rolled into what is known as the Barry Game Exchange. And that is one of the cooler events in the GTA, as it's a good crowd of people, good people who love video games, and you can find a lot of neat things. So this episode is really a bunch of really cool pickups from that weekend of clearing some stuff out, but picking stuff up instead. And honestly, it's stuff I really wanted, and I'm going to do some unboxings on them in another video. Now, with the first pickup I had, this one was really cool. I always did want it, but trying to order from Nippon Ichi, living in Canada, can be a bit of a pain in the butt. When I traded everything in, with all the trade credit I got, I ended up grabbing the collector's edition of Ys 9. It was already open. I don't care. As long as everything was inside, was actually there. This was the Switch copy, which I've stated multiple times on this channel. It runs okay. I love Ys 9. This is a really cool edition. It comes soundtrack, comes with the art book. It's everything you could ever want with collections. It's 10 to 10. This was really cool. I'll have some nice zoom-ins on this. I love the artwork on the side and having the monstrums on the front behind the jail bars. Excellent design on it. It's a really quality package. It looks like whoever got it just didn't really care. I know I do. And here's the art book for it of each of the characters throughout the game. It is a really nice piece. Anything Ys, I just kind of want more and more as time goes on. I did have the PSP copies years ago, but I just didn't collect for PSP anymore, and some stuff came up, and I had to clear stuff out. But in this case, with these newer Ys collections, they're a lot better, and this was the first thing I picked up through getting rid of all those games. The second thing was, it was more of just because I had some credit, I picked up this again. I, again, sold this off years ago, because at one point I swore off the Vita, but I now have the collector's edition for Memories of Salsetta. If you haven't played it, it's a really good one. I do remember initially picking this up and waiting for the truck to show up at the EB that I would work at, hoping that this would show up because it was Ys, and I really wanted an Ys game at the time, especially through school. It was a fantastic game. I am gonna crack this at some point, not right now, but that was a really cool pickup. Art book. The soundtrack in this one was an anniversary soundtrack, so it actually kind of fires the spectrum of all the games. So it is one of the best reasons to own this collector's edition out of anyone else. And then this one was the store owner kind of got me dead to rights, knowing what I like, and I knew this existed. I never thought I'd actually come across it. This is the Japanese version of Mega Man Legends for the PSP. This is so cool. I can probably blitz through these on the PSP, and I was always curious how they played, but I never actually got around to playing them. And I love the disc artwork where they have data on it. This was really cool. I was always shocked they never dumped these in North America, as I thought it was one of the nicest pieces they could have made for this console. But Capcom just didn't for whatever reason. And Capcom was really supportive of that console. I was really shocked that I was like, oh man, well, they'll dump the Legends games at some point. They never did. But they dumped like Breath of Fire on there, so like this is a really cool little collector's piece, especially because it has this box, and I just love it. It's more Mega Man Legends, and I always need more of that in my life. And he just kind of just pulled it off the shelf, was like, here's something cool, I'll give you a good price on it. And I was like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. But yeah, this was a really cool pickup to the collection. And then finally, the last game I picked up was something I just said as a joke. Because I'd already bought 2 ysgames, I'm like, well, the only one I'm looking for is Ark of Nepishtim E6 for the PS2. And he just went, I actually think I have that. And I'm like, what? And he goes, it just came in. It was kind of buried. He was looking around in a couple spots and he found it. And it's a complete copy. It's one of the more expensive PS2 games, but it's it's really good. It's weird because you actually have to put in a code to play like the anime version of the game, which is the best version of the game, which is bizarre, but that's just the thing. Nepishtim, I haven't actually fully played through. I will actually probably try and plow through it at some point this year. I was really hoping it would either A, have a remake, or B, be ported to like the Switch, or I think at the time I was hoping it would come out on the Vita or PSP, but like a touched-up version, because there was a PSP version of this game, and it runs just terribly. Do not play the PSP version of Ark of Nepishtim. It is not great. The PS2 version is a really nice version of the game, and I would strongly recommend it. So, that was the first part of my journey of that weekend. All of that was store credit. Didn't spend a dime. The deal was really good. It was from Retro Game Bros, who I've dealt with for many years at this point, and I was well taken care of, and I'm appreciative for picking up these ysgames, because that was a part of my collection I just wanted to touch up. Now, when it comes into the second half of this, I was actually shocked at what I could find. So, the Berry Game Exchange came up on the Sunday, and it was always something like, I've gone to it before, but it was like after a wedding, or there was some reason why I was up in the Barrie area. And I've done one in the Kitchener-Waterloo. I haven't actually done one where we drove specifically up to Barrie for the day to check it out. So, myself, my girlfriend, and a friend of mine, Julian, who's been on the show, we all just drove up and we decided to check it out. And it was awesome for me because I got a bunch of stuff that I was looking for. I said there was 3 things I would want, and I actually got them. I was actually really shocked that all 3 of them. I figured I'd get like 1 or 2. I didn't think I'd find all 3. That was the impressive part of that show. Didn't think it would happen. I kept running back to the booth of the Retro Game Bros and just updating them on, hey, I got this, hey, I got this, hey, I got this. He's like, you literally bought everything you said in the store on Friday. I'm like, exactly, let's go. But anyways, let's get into it with the first item. First item I picked up, this is the limited run version of Ys Origins. I grabbed the Vita version. I was humming and hawing over the PS4 versus the Vita, and I'm just that much more of a handheld person than I am console. Like, I have my periods where, like, I love playing stuff on console, but I'll just hit a point where I'm like, I'll just play on the handheld, it'll be fine. And this was one of them. The price difference between this collector's edition, new, like sealed, and versus like a new copy that was made by Limited Run was like $20. So I just grabbed it and said, to heck with it. I'm really glad to have this. I haven't opened it before. I know it's like, I think there's just an art book in here in the game. That's kind of about it. I will open it up. That'll be another video, and we'll find out if it was really worth it, or I should have just gotten the cartridge. But hey, we'll find out together. Now, when it comes to this item, I did not think anybody would have it. Out of all the games, this was actually, in my head, like, the least likely. It was still available on the website. You could still get it from Nipponichi. I was really tempted to just order it, but I'm like, hey, who knows? Let's go to the show, hold my breath, we'll see what happens. And sure enough, Ys 8 was actually there. I kind of was in shock. This is the PS5 version. This is the one that was still available on the website at the time of when I picked it up. And I finally have one. I didn't think I'd have them. I know there's like 3 versions of this, and this is easily my favorite Ys game. And I do like all of them really much, a lot. Ease 8. I just couldn't get over that. I actually found it. It is the PS5. I know some people don't care. I don't really. I would have been happy if it was just the Switch version. I just wanted one of the collector's editions of that game. And I finally have it. And I was so excited. The deal was really good. And honestly, like, I can't argue because with shipping to Canada, it was actually, like, perfect price point. So thank you, Barry Game Exchange, for this. And this one is going to be the first one of the unboxing because I've been wanting to open this for a little while now. And the last game's going to feel a little random. It's not hyper expensive, I guess, or, like, it's not, like, a chase game. It was more of I was looking at my Game Boy Advance games on what boxes I owned. And there was just a few where I'm like, yeah, I should get that. Yeah, I should grab that. And it was Donkey Kong Country 3. I actually really like the GBA version of this game, as they were the first versions of the game I was actually able to ever play as growing up Sega. The Game Boy Advance is my Super Nintendo in my head. This is where I played a lot of those classic Super games on the Game Boy Advance, and honestly, I prefer them hands down over top of the... And I'm not here to argue here nor there on which version is superior. I'm just saying I like these versions. That's it. And I enjoy them for what they are. And I figured, you know what? I have Donkey Kong Country 1. I have Donkey Kong Country 2 box. Let's make a deal and get 3. And I actually got this for a very good price. It came with the game. I honestly didn't need it. But it was there, and it was a good price. And I can use that as trade credit for fodder in the future for other things. Now I have all 3 Donkey Kong countries. And that's pretty exciting. But anyways, guys, that's it for this week's episode. This has been, like, one of the first game hunts I've really done in a while, and it's kind of fun to actually be able to find what you're looking for, because the hunt just really isn't out there anymore. It's a little sad, but it's just the way the market's gone. And it was a good weekend, and it reminded me of the spark I had earlier on when I really, really enjoyed just collecting stuff. But now I'm at the point where I'm really just enjoying what I have and what I can play. And, you know, have you guys had any cool finds in the past little while? Like, let me know down below in the comments, because this is one of the coolest little weekends I ever had in a while, and I never thought I'd come across a lot of this stuff. But that's it for this week's episode, guys. Take care. Have a good one.